Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you back for the next installment of our Wizard webinar series. I'm Vaishnavi Golapuri, your host and director of marketing at Systech. Today, we are diving into the next big thing in intelligent document processing, Wizard DocPro AI. Wizard DocPro AI promises to automate document processing, turning complex, unstructured data into actionable insights, fast and accurately. It streamlines workflows, reduces dependency on IT, and boosts productivity. And how does it do that? That's exactly what we'll uncover today. We'll explore how DocPro AI streamlines document processing to save time and cut costs. You'll see a live demo of its seamless integration with your business for smarter decision making. We'll wrap up with a Q&A session to answer your questions and help you maximize your understanding of DocPro AI. And to take us through this, we have two of the best in the field, Sunil Kumar Arjun Prasad, VP of Product Engineering at Systech. Sunil leads the charge in building next-gen data products that are as innovative as they are intuitive. Deepan, Data Visualization Practice Leader, who ensures data foundation behind Wizard is robust and efficient. So before we dive in, just a couple of items that I want to address. We'll be taking your questions at the end, so feel free to type into the Q&A box on the control panel as we go along, and we'll get to it as many as we can after the presentations. All right, let's get started. Sunil and Deepan, take it away.
Thanks, Vaishnavi. All right, so welcome all. I think this is our second edition of a Wizard webinar that we have been planned. And today, in fact, just to quick recap, last time we have seen the Wizard Core functionality that is a kind of like an Q&A ability on top of your enterprise data. And that was quite fascinating. And we have got really good response. Thank you for that, for whatever your questions that you asked last time. Today, we are going to be taking a spin over how you can do same level of insights or I would say interacting with your documents or enterprise corpus of data, which is hidden in a more of a textual or maybe a PDF or any other document which is not a part of your enterprise data warehouse. So like, for example, in enterprise, there are many places where you may have some information more hidden on top in your PDF documents, or maybe invoices or any of the policy document or compliance document or things like that, which you need to actually analyze. And that this takes a lot of time for any analyst to go through a sea of information which is hidden in these texts, and then come up with an insight which probably might be something that you're looking for. So what we are going to be talking about today is again another GenAI based platform that we have developed as part of Wizard, which we call it as a DocPro AI. So just to quickly come back to how we have stacked the overall product, which is incorporating both document processing and the Wizard Core that we have seen last time. The framework is pretty simple. It's just the same thing that we have shown last time as well, that you have the Wizard Core orchestration, which is actually a stack of all the compute and then the models or the memories that is needed for building this overall platform is at the base of the design. And then you have the right kind of models to extract information from the document and even to analyze the information that is required for a specific point of time analysis that you might require. And that sits on top of the data stack, which is again data which is in more of data lake or databases or data or a document corpus as well. And on top of it, we have these built-in Wizard agent. So basically, if you look at that, this is the design that even we introduced last time as well. But if you look at that, the basic part here, the foundational part here on the document processing is the last piece of the puzzle in the Wizard architecture. What it does is that it is having an ability to onboard your entire document that you may have in your enterprise into this framework of Wizard. There are sub-process, or I would say 3 or 4 step process that happens before you are making that document available for any of the analysis that you'll be doing on top of it. So first thing, obviously, to upload the entire corpus of the data into this Wizard framework. The next part to that is going to be at doing a quick OCR, or probably looking at the information in a more just understanding the entire document. So if you look at the design of documents that we encounter in enterprise is of mixed variety. Like if you look at any specific invoices for that matter, and we will see that in a demo for various types of documents that generally we encounter, and with the use case standpoint, we'll try to understand how are we going to be using, or how are we first of all understanding this document and making it available for the business to ask questions on top. So sometimes there's invoices, sometimes there are documents which is having a graphics, image, or maybe some kind of charts or information which is on our infographics and things like that. All these are really very much intuitive for a human beings to understand. But say for example, if the scale goes from like one document to go for like millions of documents, that's where the complexity comes into picture. So it's not really possible for one or two people or even for a team to analyze the millions of documents all at the same time. And that's where this wizard framework come into picture, where you will be having an ability to do analysis on top of the entire sea of document that you have all at once. Okay, the scaling is really a key point here. So uploading a document, making it available with doing a right amount of OCR, which is we are doing it with obviously based on the large language model, because it's very effective in these days. And the large language model are multimodal, and it is able to understand the documents the way it has been intended to be received. And then we do even have options to do a translation. So for example, you have a document in a multilingual language. You have many language involved in this document. A document you already have it as a corpus, and you want to put everything into your base native language or your business language. Then you can do a translation to any other language to your business language, and then on top of it you can do analysis collectively as a part of this Wizard DocPro. So it sits on the same stack that we talked about before, but basically to identify the part that we will be having a data lake where you will be pushing all these documents, PDF content data and text data out here in this. And this works with the stack of the same wizard architecture, but we are talking about one specific piece of it, which is going to be the DocPro. A few use cases before I hand it over to Deepan for a demonstration is like look at that. For example, if you are a sustainable if you are in a sustainable business, enterprise sustainable business, and you want to see what are the other ecosystem partner that you have and you should be investing or probably doing partnering with, you can look at their corpus of a lot of sustainability report that generally enterprises do it as an annual disclosure, and then analyze that what are the key factors that you are looking at based on your compliance or risk profile, and whatever to you probably can identify that as being of the right vendor to partner. Likewise, there are some financial reporting analysis that you can do it on top of a lot of equity data or maybe financial disclosure that generally company or portfolios do it. You can do it all collectively together and probably get a very informed decision on top of it. Some of the places that you might see that maybe in a technical there are products which is coming with technical specifications, right? So for example, if you have to do some level of troubleshooting, if you're a new person coming into the mix, you may want to give them a kind of like, okay, fine, you go ahead and read these documents and come up with an understanding of how to fix the problem, and you get it as a kind of a support ticket. But in the case that will probably be a time consuming. But having a wizard kind of a framework where it sits on top of your entire technical documentation or the manuals for your products, it is easier for an assistant or maybe a technical advisor to just ask a question into that corpus of manuals or technical documents and get a very precise information of how to do the troubleshooting for a given problem. And the last but not the least, but there's one other example that we have, where looking at a corpus of a lot of research done on a specific field, and you want to probably kind of create maybe like a collective analysis that what has been really the niche and the best way to do certain parts of that particular research. You can probably talk about in a pharmaceutical industry. If you're looking for some ailment in a disease, you want to probably look at what particular drug really works on some certain parts of the disease. You probably can do that level of analysis. So with that, this is just a few of the many use cases that can really be solved with this DocPro AI. I'm really to bring in back Deepan here to show you this in live action. So Deepan, over to you.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Vaishnavi. So let's quickly jump into the demo. This is Wizard application, and let's quickly jump into the DocPro, right? So DocPro has two sections. One is My Projects and the Q&A. My Projects is where you organize all your documents into projects, or you can call it as folders, right? So I'll walk you through how to create the folders step by step. So let's say I'm just creating one for Shinko, Japan. So this is the folder that I've created. Now Shinko Japan is available. I'm just going to upload a document here. Let's go upload a document. I have it here. It's an SF annual report. We'll walk you through the document, what it is actually. So upload the document, and then there is the upload that is happening. So once the document is uploaded, so it's into the wizard, right? And then now you can perform other operations like OCR. So as Sunil mentioned, right? So the OCR is to extract data out of the document, textual information that is in the images, charts, all those, right? So that information needs to be extracted out of the document so that we can start interacting with the textual information that is available in the document. So that's where we have this OCR step, which will help us to extract all the information that is available in the document and eventually lay the foundation for interaction, right? So this is a Japanese document, so that's what you see here, right? So you can see a sample of the OCR results that has been extracted. So once this is done, so now that we know that this is in Japanese document, so we would like to do a translate on it. So the translate will be able to translate whatever the native language of the document is, and by default it translates to English. So you can see a sample of the translation that is done here. So once this is done, so we'll have to index the document. So once the index is completed, so you can start interacting with the document. Okay. So let's see if we can interact with the document. I see there was some issue with it, but I have another folder that is available for us to interact, which is the same document. So let me fire a question. So summarize the SF annual report 2022. So while we are at it, I just wanted to show you the document itself, right? So this is the Shinko Fukushikai. This is a social welfare corporation, and they submit annual report for every year. This is 2022 report, and you can see this document is talking about the sustainable development goals. Okay. And this is a pretty detailed document, which has textual information, which has information embedded into images, charts, right? So all sorts of data is available here, and all these are in Japanese. There are numbers, and then there are Japanese words, text. And this is a pretty elaborate document, which has close to, I think, 27 pages, right? So now let's see how Wizard has tackled this. So what we asked was summarize SF annual report 2022, Shinko Fukushikai annual report 2022 summary. It gives what is the document is about, and what is the period that represents the document, and what are the highlights, like financial highlights, facility and services, response to COVID-19. So these are things that were addressed in the document, and then there is also contact information that is also given. So now you got a summary of the SF annual report, right? So let's just see what this view metrics is. So view metrics gives you a metrics of analysis, how good the the summarization has been done, faithfulness has been done, what is the relevancy of this summary to the document, right? So all those information is available here as metrics for you. And then the view AI thought process gives you a step-by-step what actually the agent does in the backend. So first it understands the question, then it searches the relevant documents, then it performs the scraping of the documents, then it creates a response, and then it collects the available resources, and then it generates a response, and the response that it is generated, it is also evaluated, right? And that's where you see the scores against the evaluation. And also you see the citations of the documents from where this has got this information from. Okay, so this is done. So here you have an option to select the project where against which you want to interact, right? So we have selected Shinko Fukushai, and that's where we are getting this information. So let me see if I can, get more details about what is given in the document. So what I'm doing is describe the contents about sustainability goals in SF notable. So that's what this document is all about. They are talking about the sustainability goals here, right? So let's see if it is able to summarize that information for us, right? So going back to the document. So these are the sustainability goals, but these are all in Japanese. So let's see if our wizard is able to get that information and lay it out in a proper format for us. Yes, it does. So all these are the goals that they have discussed about: gender equality, quality education, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation, and so on, right? And implementation and future outlook is also mentioned here. So they wanted to achieve all these goals by contributing to the creation of a better society. Okay. So so it is able to extract the data and then summarize it in a neat, consumable way for us. But let's see if it is able to really, extract data out of, charts and graphs, right? Let's see that. Let me go and show you the. So what I've asked is, can you talk about the chart which has the number 2053? So 2053, right? So this is a chart that has the number 2053, and it has got a lot of information details available here. So let's see if Wizard is capable of extracting this data and lay it out to us in a proper form, right? So so here it is, the chart in the Shinko Welfare Association Fund. So this is talking about, that includes the value 2053 is talking about various welfare and care facilities managed by the association. So these are the different numbers that the chart is talking about. Nursing homes. So there are 278 nursing homes. There's 210 retirement homes. So how many occupants are there in the retirement homes? Service and senior housing, there are 22 occupants. So all those is clearly laid out, and it was able to capture the data from the chart itself, right? So now that we have seen what Wizard DocPro is capable of, let's see what kind of analysis that we can do on top of this, right? So let's see if we can do a research and scientific analysis, right? So what we have here is a project called ARN509. ARN509 is a drug that has been created for treating cancer. So let's see if what I have done is I have uploaded multiple research papers and clinical trials of this drug. And what I'm trying to understand is summarize the key findings of the drug's effectiveness. So this will be able to query all the documents, research papers, clinical trial documents, and then get me a summarized information. I don't have to go through all the documents and then search for this information. So now that we have Wizard, so this is able to summarize, scrape all the information from all the documents and then summarize it in points for us. So key findings: what are the primary efficacy findings, secondary efficacy findings, what are the administrations that was done, right? So all those information is available here, right? And the study design and analysis, what was the risk detection, compliance and exposure. So all the information available across all the study this thing is available, and it also gives citations of where this information has been given from. So this is something that we can use it for analysis of research of pharma industry, research in pharma industry. So now that we have seen what it is capable of in pharma industry, let's see if we can do some financial analysis, right? So let me go and select a project where I have uploaded some energy mutual funds, right? Documents of energy mutual funds, and then see if Wizard can compare the investment portfolio between Winax and Arax. So this is basically the energy mutual funds of two companies, Vanguard and Cavanal. So I have uploaded the mutual fund documents in this project, and I'm querying to see if there is a comparison that can be made. So these are specific use cases. So these are research related medical research related analysis, and this is financial research, investment related analysis. So these are specific agents that are working on to understand and perform analysis, something which industry specific people will do, right, and get back to us with the results. So that's what the Wizard is all about. So it adapts to your specific industry, and it can do such analysis on top of your enterprise data documents that you have stored. So let's see. Let's just give it. Yeah. Okay. Here we have the comparison between the investments Winax and Avax, focusing on sector weightings, overall portfolio composition, top holdings, and performance metrics. So what I asked is just a comparison of investment portfolio, but it was able to do a sector weightings comparison. What are the sectors that these two funds have invested, and what is the weightage, what is the portfolio composition, what are the components that they are holding, what percentage of it, and what are the major companies that they are investing, and what is the weightage of it, and also the comparison of the performance of it. Whatever that is required for for an investor to look into and then take decisions out of this, right? So that's available in a neat format, and what you just have to do is you just have to ask, right? And then that is clearly laid out for you here. So we have seen research and scientific analysis, financial report analysis. Now let's see if we are able to do a technical document guide, right? So I have here a HP maintenance guide that is uploaded. So this is something that is available on the web, and then I'm trying to see if I can query against it. So let's say there is a maintenance person who is facing an issue with hard disk drive error, and he wants to see how he can solve this issue. So while this is querying the data, so I'll just go through the document here. So here, this is the PC troubleshooting, HP PC troubleshooting guidelines, and then there is a 14-page maintenance and troubleshooting problems that is available. Oh, that is actually a 19-page document. So what I have asked is basically see if there is a hard disk drive error. So what should be done? What are the troubleshooting steps? So here it says checking for hard disk drive errors, right? And there is a list of steps that is given. And then let's see if Wizard is able to get this information and lay it out for us, right? Yep, here it is, troubleshooting hard disk drive errors. The following steps outline how to check and troubleshoot hard disk drive errors. So it was able to clearly give all the 7 steps that is laid out. Close all the programs in Windows, click Start in My Computer, and then finally click Start if prompted to restart. Okay, so 6 steps, and I think it has summarized it into 7 steps, right? So that's good about it. Okay, so now that we have seen one more analysis, let's see if there is one more scenario that we can come across. So what I have done is I have uploaded an invoice, right? And then see if we can actually query the invoice information. So let me query, and then I'll show you what is the invoice is all about. Show me sales of Gandhinagar, right? So this is a sample invoice, markup data that we have created. So this is the invoice information. So across different regions, what are the stores and what is the invoices that they have built, right? So all those information is there. So what I have queried is basically see if I can extract this information. What are the sales that has been happen in the Gandhinagar area, right? So let's see if Wizard is able to query this document and scrape this document and then get this information and lay it out for us. So what in turn this is Okay, so it was able to do that. Sales summary for Gandhinagar. The following table summarizes from March 1 to March 31. Okay, so it also gives that additional information. So what the sales is for which period, and you have the shop information, the store information, what is the product that was sold, and how many quantity, what was the amount that it was sold, and the total sales amount for the particular area. So if you can compare this, so for Gandhinagar, the total sales was 2526.30, and that's what we are getting it here, right? So with this, you will be able to extract structured data from your unstructured documents, right? That is also something that is possible here, right? So I have one more, feature to show you. So this is a settings page of the Wizard DocPro. So here you can adjust the response length. If let's say you want a shorter response, then you can adjust it. If you want a longer response, you can do it. You have temperature to control, the randomness of response, right? And then you can also do web scraping. So I've included web scraping, and then this is to a NHI website of a particular drug, right? So let's see if I'm able to query against this, right? So this is a web scraping feature of Wizard, where I can just go ahead and ask a question against a document which is on the web, right? So let's just quickly jump into the page. So this is that page where it talks about sarcoid lizards, a drug, and how what is the effects of it in treating fatty liver disease, right? So this is the web page that we have given, and then we can ask questions against it. So what this essentially does is you're not constrained to the documents that is available in your enterprise, or that is being uploaded into Wizard, or Wizard has access. Now you also open doors to have Wizard interact with documents that is available on the web. But at the same time, you also have control over what documents or what pages that the Wizard should have access to, right? So here we have effects of sarcoid lizard in treatment of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, key effects of sarcoid lizard, improvement in liver function, reduction in liver fat, metabolic benefits, insulin sensitivity. So, and there is also a conclusion. So it was able to get all the information from this page. This is a detailed page. There is all citation information and all those, and it was able to summarize that information in a neat format for you for consumption, right? So what is this essentially does is so what we have seen is Wizard DocPro will enables you to talk to your documents, right? Perform research, be it medical or finance, extract structured data from your unstructured document, extend your search to web content in a controlled manner, right? So that is all about Wizard DocPro, and the scenarios are endless, as Sunil mentioned.
Absolutely. Now, before we go to the question, I just wanted to add a couple of points here. Is that so? The key feature that Deepan has just shown, that the variety of types of document and the analysis that is possible here. Like this financial document analysis was where the comparatively analysis has happened between a couple of equity funds, and then the medical or pharma kind of use cases where we have been able to exactly go to a places where we find exactly and precise information. So the output that you have seen is actually very much customized to the kind of a document that you're on top of. So it's not about that you have a generic kind of a template where everything is being presented to the users in the same format, irrespective of the domain of the data that it is, right? So financial analysis has been presented in a financial analyst perspective, and they generally like to look at the quantitative data. They want to compare a couple of informations and look at more of how these things are being actually in numbers and things like that. That's why it's been presented in a tabular format. But if you look at that, the research analysis that just Deepan just displayed, that information is more of a factual information. So it is more dependent upon how much of an information that you provide as an output with the right citations, because anything which is not in the citation will cause a kind of a concern for any of the research analysts that to kind of come to a conclusion that is it going to be, is it a trustworthy information that has been coming up as output or not? So for research analysts, there's a different perspective, and the format of an output should be aligned towards how he should be looking at the data than compared to a financial analyst. So those are the kind of stuff which is rightly being taken care of by the wizard, and the way the output that you have just seen is being adjusted automatically, and then that is where you probably can see the magic of wizard happening on top of the entire corpus of data. A lot of documents which has been churned right now, whatever Deepan was saying, it was so simplistically been presented. But if you look at that, it has been churning a lot many data set, and the information is also coming up with the right citation, so that you can always trace back to the right document or the page, which is actually where the information came from. So just wanted to highlight that. So yeah, we can go to the questions. I see there are quite a lot of questions coming up.
That was amazing. And I'm really excited about the possibilities with Wizard DocPro AI. And I already see how it's going to make a difference for us in Systech marketing. Right? So thank you so much, Sunil and Deepan, for your valuable insights on how DocPro AI powers intelligent document processing, and also giving us a sneak peek into the real world use cases. Clearly it sparked some interest, and there are questions, so let's open it up for Q&A. And guys, I know many of you are already here, so just as a reminder, feel free to type your questions into the Q&A box on the control panel. So let's dive right in. The first question, Sunil and Deepan, is there's a curiosity about the data points. Can Wizard DocPro identify conflicting data points or contradiction within research findings?
Well, that's a very interesting question. So the thing is that if you look at, if I have multiple documents with a contradictory informations, it's always a problem for even for the human being and human analyst to find out what is to present if they do not have a context to that. So there are methods that we probably can add, or we can add some of those guidelines when we are presenting the result, or when the DocPro is presenting results to the users on a question which might have a conflicting information, to either, like for example, if there are dated informations. For example, there are two versions of the same document which is there in the document, which is quite a possibility that we have seen in one of the cases where there are multiple versions of the same document was available. Like for example, it is an annual report, and there were multiple versions of the same annual report for the same year was available, which was having a different numbers. So we went back to the customer and then asked him that how generally you resolve it, and they said that mostly what we go is the most latest document is always the updated document. So we put that kind of like a caveat to the result which has been presented back to the user within the with Wizard by stating that, hey, you need to always take the timestamp of the document you're referring to, and the one which is the most latest is always supersede the one which is the previous one. That's one way of resolving it. And the other way is that if you do not have a timestamping, or probably the version or right way to identify what's the latest one, then there are the both information is presented back to the user that, hey, this is one document is talking about, but this is another contradictory point as well, to presenting it both, and then let the user decide what could be the best. Because these are the kind of by default, these natures cannot be I would say it's required a human intervention to actually find out what should be the best result that they want to see. So I would say some level of instructions per se has to be provided, maybe at the time of setting when we are doing a wizard, or maybe post that, to make it more relevant for the solving these contradictory points.
So just to add on to that, right? So whatever information that Wizard lays out, when you consume information, so the date and time is the most relevant factor, and that you can see for most of the answers that we have seen in the demo, right? Be it extracting data from the invoice, there was no question about when the invoice, what was the date for the invoice, but it was able to get that information and then lay it out, right? Similarly, the SF annual report, what is the report for, like for the year 2022, right? So that relevancy is more important, and that is something that we have already engineered, and that is something by default it comes up if it is already available in the documents that is present.
Makes sense. Thank you, Deepan and Sunil. Going to the next question. Does DocPro maintain an audit trail of data access and processing for regulatory compliance?
Audit rate. Okay, so yes, so I think one of the examples that Deepan was showing, it does have a citation. You can always go exactly to the place where the information came up from with the page number and then the exact section of that document. Even though there are like thousands of documents which has been used to prepare the result, it can always tie back to where is this information come from. So yes, the citation really helped in these kind of cases.
Fantastic. Going to the next one. How customizable is the AI model to adapt to our specific research focus areas?
So I would say that it's more about the customization of the agent rather than the customizing the model itself. Because if you look at that, the kind of model that we use is the best in the class, but they have like information about the whole world, by the way. Debatable, but still the whole world. But what I'm saying is that, most of the time when you have some specific research focus or the way you want to do it, like for example, there's one use case that we worked with where the customer was asking us to do the systematic review on to top of the lot of corpus of data. So it's a very a methodological way of how to do the systematic review on top of your research papers. So if you're just looking for systematic review, we have created a specific agent to just do that, and then presenting the result in a very much of a systematic review format. And that was one of the customized agent that we have added on top of for that particular customer. So likewise, based on exactly what's the focus and what's the kind of a output that you would present, if by default this research agent that we already have it as a part of DocPro is not giving you the answer in that format, then we can always customize it to make it to the exact same format that we provide. And as I said, it's a reasoning model also behind the scene, where it probably will be able to do a much more better job than compared to, I would say, better than at least mid-level or senior level analyst in your team.
Thanks, Sunil. We are a little over the time, so I'll be just taking one more question. The question goes, are there any limitation of volume of documents which DocPro can handle?
Well, there's no such review. There's no such limitation per se. We have been having quite a couple of use cases where we have more than almost like close to 50 to 100 GBs of data, document data alone, and that we processed. Deepan, you want to add something on this? I think we have those kind of use cases.
There is no limitation, right? There's definitely, and we have tested the limits, right? So as Sunil mentioned, we have hundreds of GBs of document data, and we have tested the limits, and it is working fine. So there is no limits as such. So just one point to add, like, for you to structure it, that's where we come up with the projects. So you can still structure it and document it based on, the areas that you want to do analysis on. So that way it gives you, a streamlined approach towards your research and analysis that you want to do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Deepan. It looks like we are at the end of our time today. So thank you all for your questions and for staying engaged. A big thank you to Sunil and Deepan for sharing their expertise. We appreciate everyone joining us today. And if you have any follow-up questions or want to learn more, or you want to see how it will work for your use case, feel free to reach out. We'll also be sharing the recording of today's sessions along with the Q&A report, after the session. So thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to connecting with you at the next session. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.